This tutorial shows teachers and administrators how to send messages, email, and text messages. First, let's clarify the difference between messages and email. In Jupyter, everything you send is a web message, which people see when they log into Jupyter. Additionally, people may choose to receive a copy of messages as email and text messages. Staff set their own preferences on Set Up My Account, while parents set preferences on their settings screen. Let's look at your inbox. All your message options are here in the Post menu. As a shortcut, you can double-click the Post tab to open your inbox. Your inbox shows all the messages you have received from staff, students, and parents, and organizes them into conversation threads. Click a message to open it. Click the check mark to archive the message. That removes it from your inbox, but all messages are always saved, never deleted, so you don't need to worry about losing any messages. Notice that the check mark has a colored circle for any new messages that you have not opened. It turns gray after you open it. You'll see photos next to messages if photos have been uploaded, otherwise it just shows generic happy faces. At the bottom, use this range menu to view older messages. You can also show archived messages. Notice that any archived messages are dimmed, but you can click the plus sign to unarchive them. When you open a message, it shows the whole conversation in order. You can type a reply at the bottom. Click the paperclip icon to attach an image or file. Note that, unlike email, you cannot add or remove people from a conversation thread. However, you can click Forward to show another staff member the conversation. This lets them see the whole thread, but they cannot reply to it. You can also archive the message thread from here, which is the same as clicking the checkmark in the inbox. To send a message, click the New Message button, or click Post, New Message. This screen has slightly different options in Teacher Mode and Admin Mode, so we'll look at Teacher Mode first. To add individual students or staff, type their name here and press Enter. You can use partial names too, or ID numbers. It will prompt you if there is more than one matching name. Click this triangle button to add whole classes, or pick individual students from your class. You can also select staff. Notice that when you address a whole class, your co-teachers, if you have them, will receive it too, so you don't need to add them separately. After you add any students, select if you want to message the students themselves, their parents, or both. Email a button link includes a clickable button in emails that takes the recipient directly to their Jupyter portal. You can choose which area in this menu. Some options may be dimmed depending on your school settings. Type your subject and message, and add attachments. You may click Preview to see exactly who will be included in your recipient list. That covers the basics. Let's click More Options now. Private message is the default, so if you address multiple people, their replies go to you only. If you want everyone to see each other's replies, like Reply All, change this to one of the discussion forum options shown. We'll talk about all these options in a separate tutorial. Here, you can filter the message to go only to students with missing assignments or low grades. Choose whether to send the message now or later. Or you can save as a draft. By default, messages are sent as web plus email, meaning in Jupyter and email too. To send a text message, change this to web, email, and text, so it sends to all three. However, text messages are limited to 160 characters and cannot include attachments. And remember that others must opt in to receive text messages, and they may opt out of receiving email, so really it's up to each person how they like to receive communications. Finally, check No Reply for broadcast announcements where you do not want people to reply back. Now let's look in Admin Mode, where the options are a little different. The triangle button lets you choose all students, grade levels, staff, and many other options. The button links are slightly different for admins, like this option to send login instructions. Let's click More Options. If you have more than one school in your account, you can choose which schools to include in the message. This checkbox lets you message the teachers of a specific student. Or some admins have this option to filter just the students in their caseload. You can send messages to only students with low grades in any course, or check, if no logins, to message only families who haven't logged in recently. To send an emergency text, select Web, Email, and Text, and check Emergency Alert. That makes it high priority, so they get it faster. Note that you must urge all parents, students, and staff to opt in for emergency text alerts at the beginning of the school year. Due to cell carrier restrictions, you cannot do that for them. Finally, this option lets you send the message from your school name or district name instead of your personal name. Recipients can reply to your messages several ways. If they are logged in, they can type a reply directly at the bottom of the thread. Email notifications like this one contain a reply button to take them directly to the message online. It won't require them to enter their password unless they've never used that browser for Jupyter before. Or they can just reply by email like any other email. This is convenient but slightly less reliable if there are any email issues, and it won't accept attachments from emails. For text messages, replies are rejected, so they must log in to reply. But of course, any replies are rejected if you had checked the no reply option. Back in teacher mode, go to Post, Message Log. Here you can search all your messages, even if archived. You can filter by date and search for text content, or view messages to or from student families. You can also see all email and text messages sent to you, along with any error messages if you need to troubleshoot why you're not receiving them. In admin mode, you may have additional options to search messages to or from any student, parent, or staff member at your school. This is available only if you have high enough permissions. See our help guide for details. If you see any inappropriate messages, click this triangle and select Hide Message. You can also do this to your own message if you accidentally set it to the wrong people. If the inappropriate message was sent by a hacker, usually from students sharing passwords and pranking each other, select Access Log to detect who may have really sent it. That concludes this tutorial. Please see our help guide for additional details.